Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend, our pal Martin Gramatica. What's going on, my brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. Trying to set up here. Sorry, I was running a little late today. How are you?
You're good, pal. I'm fantastic, man. We're
Just
making
look.
the Yeah, you look great. You look great, my friend. And yeah, the weather's been a little crazy today. I think everybody is kind of a
Well,
little off kilter.
I'm in
Where are
the
you?
villages, so I'm in the villages, so
Ah,
it's different. You know what's weird is like when it rains here, it's sunny in Tampa. When it's raining in Tampa, the other day I'm sitting in the office, beautiful day, sunshine, and then I get a text message that the practice is closed for soccer. But that's in Tampa. So we must be having bad weather in Tampa. So
that's right. The other day
yeah.
I was over at USF for practice at the indoor facility, and I'm like yelling. Nico couldn't hear me, and I'm yelling at him like Nico, and he's sitting there drilling field goals, and I'm like, he's locked in, baby. He's locked in. How excited is the Gramatica family for the season opener next Thursday?
Oh man, we can't wait. It's kind of like when you're a little kid and you can't wait for Christmas.
Yep.
Just because he's worked so hard, he's put so much effort and energy into this, and just to get the reward of playing, we couldn't be happier. And on top of that, we love Coach Golish. We love everything
Yep.
they stand for, and that's why I feel like USF is definitely going in the right direction. So we're so thrilled and can't wait for them to get going. It's gonna be a tough start. Listen, that it's football. That's why like people are talking about. Oh, they have the three tough games. I get it. There's gonna be three tough games, but if we want to get to where we want to get, you got to beat the best. And I'm glad that these guys aren't shying away from it and they're embracing it and working their butts off to start on the right track.
Yeah, no doubt about it. How's G doing, man? Last year in high school.
G's good, man. G's good. G's ready to go. He started last week and had a 40 some yard field, so he's already on track. And then he plays tonight somewhere in Sarasota. So I'm just told where to go, when to get there, and I just
What is that? Yeah, what is that like now? Because and then of course we got to ask you about the greatest athlete in your family, your daughter. What's that like with you and your wife, man? How is that? Is that group chat or the text message that or the calendar at the Gramatica house? That must be wild. Going like, we got to be here, we got to be here, we got to be here. How the hell do you guys do that?
Well, it's become a little bit easier because the boys can, they're on their own.
Right.
They can drive. So, but when they were all three playing at the same time, it was we had to divide, like, and
Dividing
I
functions.
always, yeah, absolutely. I coached Nico for a while, and I coached Amy, and at one time I coached G as well. So it was difficult because we love being at our kids' events
Yeah.
and sporting events. So we do everything humanly possible for both of us to be at everything. So there will be some Friday night games that I won't be able to go to Nico's because I help G on the
Mhm.
sidelines at high school, and then some games I'm gone for the weekend with Emmy with soccer. So there's some that you miss. Nico's biggest kick of the year last year against Miami. I got to see it in a hotel room in Jacksonville, but I'm sitting there like grabbing the TV, like waiting to catch the ball, like I'm
Mhm.
shagging for him in practice. So yeah, so we woke everybody up. I mean, I woke everybody up at that night.
What was better, that play or the play at Alabama? Because Alabama, when he picked up the fumble, I told you that. I think I texted you. I'm yelling in the press box because there's like four. It's everybody from Alabama there in Tuscaloosa and four people from Tampa, and I'm like, Nico's got it, Nico's got it. And they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, Nico Gramatica picks up the ball. I was like, you couldn't cheer, but I was like fist pumping under the table. Like
That's the
that had to be
best.
that had to be cool to be able to see him play in Tuscaloosa, man. That's awesome.
Oh no, absolutely, and especially at picking up a fumble as a kicker. Sometimes as kickers, we value that play more than a kick because like
Right.
everybody says you got to be able to kick, and they don't expect us to be athletic. So when he picks up that fumble, now okay, he's showing the guys that he's an athlete.
Yeah, that listen, they love him, no doubt about it. Man, I gotta be honest, man. I am so happy for you to be recognized as one of the top 50 Buccaneers of all time. No, coming in at number 49, right ahead of Rob Gronkowski, baby. I love it. But just what does that mean, Martine? I mean, listen, you're as great as you were as a player. I think you're one of those guys where your impact, even after your career, is just as, if not more, impactful because you're everywhere. You're in our community. I mean, I've seen you say hi to people and take pictures with people. And when they walk away, they're so freaking happy. You're just so good to people in our community. I'm so glad that you and I have become friends over the years. And what does that mean to be recognized, as one of the top 50 players in franchise history?
Well, when you look at the players that have played in this franchise and to be recognized like that, I mean, I was shocked to start, and then just honored, and thankful. I mean, the Glacier family trusting me with Coach Dungy to draft me to Tampa, bring me
Yes.
home to Florida because that's where I wanted to be. It means the world, especially with an organization that I'm so involved with. Doing the Spanish
Mhm.
radio, being at every game, and for them to recognize me, I couldn't believe it. But I'm super thankful, and I mean, as a kicker, you don't ever think you can make those type of lists because you have
Mhm.
such great athletes that make the list. So to be able to be recognized and then go, I mean, one above Gronk is a pretty cool thing to say. I was talking crap to my kids, because they always talk crap. So I said, yeah, at least I got Gronk on one thing, just one.
I love it. And when you see it, and you've been there for training camp and some preseason stuff too, like the Bucs are killing this, right? Like some teams will go out there and say we're going to recognize 25 years, 50 years, 100 years, and they do a nice little thing here and they do a nice little thing here. But man, the season hasn't even started yet, Martine, and they all the things they're doing with the videos and bringing the old players back. Like, I mean, I don't think they could have done any better. This is amazing, isn't
Oh no, we're just getting started, like you said. The season hasn't
it?
even started.
Mhm.
I've gotten so many messages. We have this event, that event, so my calendar's filling up on just events for the 50 year of the Bucks, which is
Mhm.
great because I mean it's a great milestone for the franchise, and then to be with a team that has a chance, to have a competitive team. Your 50th year, it's going to be a lot of fun. It would be hard to celebrate 50 years when you have a losing team, but when you have got a team that has so much potential, it's going to make it even better.
And Martine, and like you just said it right there, there's something about this team. There really is, isn't it? And what is it like when you're on a team where it's like everybody's optimistic now, right? Everybody's happy. But when you're a team that's made the playoffs, you got some good players, you got like some great players on your team. What is that mindset like compared to some of the other years, knowing that like just making the because everybody they may think they I want to make the playoffs, I want to win the Super Bowl, but you and I know there's certain teams that just making the playoffs isn't good enough. And that's not going to be the mindset for the Bucs. What is it like that to know like, hey, we don't want to just make the playoffs. We want to go on a run.
Right. No, absolutely. And sometimes you have to trick yourself and say, okay, we make the playoffs, we can win the Super Bowl, knowing that, okay, we may not have the talent or we may not have the
Mhm.
in this case, you
Right.
look at every position, you have elite players at every position. I mean, and you started off with Baker. I mean, Baker's done a phenomenal job here, not only with the way he's played on the field, but what he's done off the field, how he embraced Tampa, like, and Tampa now has embraced him. He's our guy. He's our quarterback. It's not like they're like, oh, you came after Brady, and,
Mhm.
and we're still talking about Brady. No, we're talking about Baker. We're talking about what he's doing in the community. We're talking about how his teammates are playing for him, and he's the one that's taking the team on his shoulders. And obviously we have Mike Evans, Chris Gunn. We have great players, but the identity of this team, the grit, the fight, that comes, in my opinion, from Baker. When you have a quarterback that'll put his head down and run you over, that fourth down play last year when he's stiff
Yeah.
arming Bose, I think it is. I mean, and gets the first down. That right there, in my opinion, that single play defines what Baker is, and that who doesn't want to play with a guy like that. So I feel like this year is the one, where, yeah, obviously you make the playoffs, and then from there anything can happen. So that's the thing, the key. Just get to the playoffs and then go on a run. But yeah, absolutely, this team is definitely built for more than just making the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. What about you as a kicker when you get to this point of the preseason, knowing that you're about a week or two away? It's a little bit different now because you have the week between the preseason, finale and then the, regular season game one. But you as a kicker, knowing that you're not worried about your spot, like what's Chase McLaughlin thinking about right now as we're, about like 2 weeks away from game one?
Well, the first thing is, obviously staying sharp and peaking at the right moment because in his case, he's not competing for a job. So now he's just working to be ready to go week one. And that's a big difference. So, and a lot of times coaches don't understand that. Like for me, when I was with the Bucks, I knew I was the guy. So I could always prepare to be ready for week one, not
Mhm.
week one of the preseason. Now, when I had to compete
Right.
for a job, I had to be ready to go week one of the preseason. And then at times, I was done with the preseason. Week one of the regular season starts, and I was mentally and physically exhausted because now I'm 32 competing with a 22-year-old. So
Mhm.
then you start into the season not at your best. In this case, Chase was able to gradually get the kicks going, get build his legs strength and leg stamina because you don't want to over kick either, and you want to make sure you're sharp. So it's the best case scenario when you have a guy like Chase that the team trusts and he's your guy, so that way he can prepare to be the best he can be at week one. So he'll be ready to go for week one.
Martina, I've had this conversation a lot with people because I had a very unique perspective of Todd Bowles. With half of my family being Jets fans up there in New York, I saw Todd with the Jets, and it didn't end well. It wasn't great, so it was a little bit of buyer beware for me when he was named the head coach. But I've seen a guy that's been in the league for decades grow and learn and change, and to be able to be no ego, like, hey, if I got to bring in a guy to manage the clock, I'm going to do that. If I'm going to have to change my coordinators and get rid of some coaches that I've known for a long time, I'm going to do that. But there's still certain people around here in the Bay Area that still aren't completely sold. And, I think one of the big things people say is because, he doesn't have any fire. He doesn't have any passion. He's very stoic on the sidelines. And it's hard not to compare him to Tony Dungy, right? People say, they said the same thing about him, right? In the late 90s. Oh, he doesn't have enough fire. What is it like to have a coach like that where you may not see it on public, on TV, where it's like,
Right.
fire, he's not throwing down his headset. But I always feel like we see with John Cooper and Kevin Cash, when you're even keel, when things go wrong and your team looks at you and you're not losing your mind, I think there's true strength in that. What do you make of Todd Bowles? How does that compare to what you saw with Tony Dungy?
Well, everybody's personality is different. We went from Tony Dungy, that's very Todd Bowl like, to
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden, who's the total opposite. But they were both effective. We won a
Right.
Super Bowl. We won. Tony Dungy won his Super Bowl with the Colts and was very successful in the league doing it his way. The thing is when you're trying to be somebody that you're not. So if because of this criticism, Todd Bowles now becomes this nut job on the sideline and starts screaming and yelling, then it's not him and it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
work. It works for him because that's his demeanor, and guys can look at him and say, if he's not stressing, we should be fine. If he's feeling like it doesn't matter what's going on and he's still cool and collected, under control, then we're fine. But everything you hear is that that's the way he is on game day. But when he needs to get on guys during the
Yeah.
week, he's going to get on them. That's a big difference, because the one difference is if he's always calm and collective and doesn't care, or not that doesn't care, just super relaxed, then guys could sometimes mistake that for a weakness. Now, when he's getting on you all week and then kind of lets you relax on game day, Dungy was the same way. He had coaches that did the pressure on the during the
Mm-hmm.
week. I had Joe Marciano. Marciano drove me nuts during the week. I mean, he made my week miserable. But then when
Mm-hmm.
we got to Sunday, he left me alone. So he prepared me for Sunday. And
Right.
I feel like that's what Todd Bowles is doing. He's preparing these guys for Sunday. So they work super hard. He's on them. The coaches are on him all week. And then during game day, everybody takes a step back. We know we're prepared. We know we're ready. And now let's play. So I think that's very effective. And then you have the other side. You have the Gruden side, where he's crazy and animated all the time. And it works. So it's just, as long as that's the way you are and you're not changing the way you are because of what the media is saying or what people are saying, then it's going to be effective.
Yeah, no doubt about it. How would you deal with like the new rules with the kickoffs, being able to kind of drop those balls in there where you just can't? I mean, it did get a little monotonous over the last couple of years where the kickoff was just, it was just, they're just going to blast it through the end zone. Everybody runs out there for no reason. I do
Right.
like that they adapted the rules so we get more kickoffs. What would you do? How would you feel about those new rules?
As a kicker, you probably like it because you're not wearing your leg out trying to kick the ball as hard as you
Right.
can. Like
Mm-hmm.
my era, we had to kick from the 30 and with a brand new ball. So I had to use every ounce of my energy to get the ball to the goal line, so that it was almost impossible to hit touchbacks back then. But then because of the injuries and the head injury, they went back to the 35, and then the guys
Right.
now are getting stronger. The balls are broken in. So I don't like the way it looks. I think it looks very
Yeah, it does look weird, right? Yeah.
yeah, it looks very cartoonish,
Mhm.
like video game like. It doesn't look
Mhm.
real. But I do, as a kicker, like it for the kickers just to preserve their legs because they're not out there blasting kickoffs all day. So I like it as a kicker. I don't like it as a fan, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, no doubt about it. I was thinking about you the other day because my Manchester United Red Devils were trying to look at Emi Martinez, your Argentinian hero over there in between the pipe. They're not going to go. I'm like, dang man,
I,
we need him, man. We need somebody.
I thought it was a done deal. I read that it was a done deal, and all of a sudden it like fell through. I'm like, what happened? Because I would have
Yeah,
loved to see him there. I mean, he has the personality, he has the character, he has that backbone to be able to perform at Manchester United. Because it's like those top clubs. You could be a great player somewhere else, but if you don't have that mental strength, you're not going to survive. And I feel like he had the mental strength to survive there and excel there. I mean, he
yeah.
did it for the national team, but yeah, I'm sad that he didn't go there. I would have loved to see him there.
Yeah, and people don't realize that, like doing that is like you're goalie for Manchester United. That's like quarterback for the Cowboys and shortstop for the Yankees. Like you got to be like Peter Schmeichel and some of these guys over the years. Where I mean, and Emmy's proved it. I mean, he's been great at Aston Villa, but of course, when you're making big saves in the World Cup final, for Argentina, like those are kind of things that live with you forever. I mean, with Messi,
Oh,
and how excited are you for the World Cup next year? I mean, it's going to be here, North America. I mean, I think this is like one of those legacy defining like World Cups because you look at the top guys, right? Like, could this be the year that England finally wins it after all these years? Does France come back? Does Argentina win it again? What happens with Portugal? Because they just had a fantastic performance. This is probably the last World Cup we're going to see Messi and Ronaldo win. I mean, this could be one of the greatest World Cups of our lifetime for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's more than probably those two. 'Cause
No,
I
you never know, Martine. They
mean,
could be playing till they're 50, man. They're still balling out.
I know.
But
I
you're
mean,
right.
I'm
You're
sure,
right.
I'm sure they could still perform at 50. But yeah, no, and I think it's wide open because
It is.
the parity in world soccer now, it's incredible. You can see small countries beating big time teams that in the past they would have never been able to be. So yeah, the parity is wide open. But you also have the elites of the elite. Obviously, like you
Mhm.
said, France, maybe come Portugal. Germany's coming back a little bit.
Yep.
They struggle a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, with Messi, I don't they didn't officially announce it, but I pretty much think he's playing the World Cup, and I think that the MLS fits him well to stay fit and
Mhm.
also not overloaded for the World Cup. So I think Argentina's got a great chance with that group because you have pretty much the same group coming back and just replacing a few players.
Yeah, and you got guys that really perform seemingly like Lautaro Martinez does a good job for Inter Milan, but he's even for Argentina. I mean, he's climbing the ranks, man. It's amazing how many times he scores, and Alexis McAllister there,
Right.
and then of course Emmy between the sticks too. I want to ask you before I let you go, who would be on your top list, your top 50 Buccaneers list? Who would be at the top? Maybe top one, top two, top three. Who would you have?
Why you put me on the spot,
I
man?
had to. That's why I said give me the top three. You don't have to put them in order. I don't want to give you one, so I'll give you an
Oh,
option.
okay, if we're
Give
going
me
top
three.
three,
Yeah.
man. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple more because
Okay, that's fine.
it's hard to say three, but I know you have to have Derek Brooks,
Right.
um, Sapp, Leroy Selman. You have Allstott, Lynch. I mean, how do you not Mike Evans now? So how
Right.
do you?
You're right.
I mean, we have such great players that how do you make a top three? I think we should put like all these guys at number one, and then everybody else falls behind them. Because there's so many top number ones that we could add.
I love it. What was your interactions with Leroy Selman like? How many times did you get a chance to chat with him over the years?
I did. I got a chance to meet him, especially when he was the AD at USF. Just an incredible man. I'm so happy that they're honoring him at USF the way they are. Where
Yeah.
one D lineman is going to wear his jersey every year. I just saw his son. I went to the lunch and I surprised
Oh,
Nico.
nice.
I got invited to go to there by my son, who's
Mhm.
alum there, and then they set us with Nico. I said I want to meet another player. I already know this kid, but I saw Leroy Simmons' wife and then
Oh, great.
his son there, and they were so excited. So that to me, it shows you like the type of guy that Golish is to even consider and think about doing something like this, but also how what it means to the family. They were so thrilled to be there and that they were going to recognize, Leroy. I mean, it's and he's a man that everybody remembers as probably one of the greatest humans you'll ever meet. Kind of like when you meet Tony Dungy,
Yep.
you walk away thinking, okay, this guy's even better than what I thought he was. Well, with Leroy, it was the same way.
Yeah, I remember Ian and I were hosting one time and we interviewed Tony Dungy and he walked out and we were just kind of like smiling for no reason. Our posture was like perfect. And we're like, damn, man, Tony Dungy's got like that aura about him. Before
Yeah.
we go, tell us about Clearview, how everything's going up there with the villages and how people can, undergo one of these tests that can save their lives.
Oh, thank you for asking that. But yeah, we actually opened last Monday, so this is our second week open.
Nice.
We're super excited. They can reach out to me on Instagram, Martin Gramatica 7 on Instagram, or they can call the office, which is really easy number. It's 352-714-SCAN, and call in. We're offering free heart scans, so if anybody wants to come in for a free heart scan and then to learn more about what we do, but it's been really nice. One of the things I can say about the Village is like their marketing people, their newspaper, TV, radio. They've been phenomenal to work with. We're really excited to be here, and stay tuned because we are going to open more facilities. You know, we're looking at Sarasota, we're looking at Tampa, we're looking at other facilities. So it's not going to be just the Villages. So we're excited to expand too. So be ready for us in Tampa soon.
And definitely we'll have you on and we'll talk about it and we'll promote it to the high heavens. That is for sure. He is Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend Martin Gramatica, one of the top 50 Buccaneers of all time. Martin, I appreciate you, my brother. And I'll see you tomorrow night at Ray J.
Yes, sir. I'll swing by for a little bit and I got to go to the booth.
We'll talk some. We'll try to stay away from Ira Kaufman. We'll do what we can.
Oh, man. Poor Ira.
We love Ira.
Ira's the best.
All right, man. Pal. Thanks, Martin.
Have a good weekend. Talk to you
too,
soon.
Pal. See you, buddy.